The beginning of the end. I called off my engagement after my fiancée told me she needed a break to explore whatever was still lingering between her and her ex. So I sold our house and vanished from the life we'd built. Hey everyone. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and I figured it's time to open up about what's been going on in my world lately. Up until recently, I genuinely believed I was about to marry the woman I'd spend the rest of my life with, Chloe, who's 28. We'd been together for 5 solid years, and I really thought we had something unshakable. But now, sitting here replaying everything, I can't help but wonder how I missed the signs staring me in the face. Chloe and I first crossed paths at a friend's birthday party. She had this confident, straight-shooting vibe that caught my attention right away, and a quick wit that made me laugh in that easy, effortless way. I'd dated before, sure, but no one ever seemed to click with me the way she did. We hit it off fast, and about a year and a half in, we moved in together. Things just felt right. Our visions lined up. We wanted similar things in life: stable careers, a future together, eventually a family. She worked as a freelance graphic designer, and I was doing project management in the tech world, so our schedules meshed well. It wasn't some wild, flashy life, but it was good. Comfortable. Ours. We tossed around the idea of marriage now and then, but I officially popped the question last year. Nothing fancy, just a quiet dinner at home, intimate and real. Chloe was over the moon. She cried, hugged me tight, and said yes. That night, we dove right into planning, talking about a cozy fall wedding, keeping the guest list small, and booking a little lakeside venue. Everything felt like it was falling into place. But then things started to shift. At first, it was barely noticeable. Her excitement for the wedding started fading. She used to send me Pinterest boards, get excited about table settings, throw around dress ideas. And then, just like that, she stopped. Whenever I asked about bridesmaids or the cake, she'd kind of shrug and say, "I haven't decided," or "There's still time." It felt like the wedding just slipped off her radar. I figured it was stress. Wedding planning can be overwhelming, and she had a lot on her plate with work. I thought she'd bounce back. What I didn't get at the time was that it wasn't the wedding she was pulling away from, it was me. The break that broke everything, the moment everything started to unravel, was during a night out with friends. We were playing one of those TikTok-style games where you answer deep questions and try not to crack a smile. It was all fun until someone asked, if you could go back and relive one relationship, which one would it be? Without missing a beat, Chloe answered, probably Jake. Jake, her ex from college. The same guy who cheated on her. The room went dead quiet. She tried to play it off like it was no big deal, just part of her past, but something inside me shifted right then. Later that night, when it was just the two of us, I brought it up. I asked, why Jake? She kind of brushed it off and said, it was a dumb game, Ethan. Don't overthink it. I didn't argue, but that answer stuck with me. I couldn't let it go. From that point on, things felt off. She was glued to her phone more than usual, always smiling at texts she wouldn't explain. She started canceling plans with me, giving vague reasons, work stuff, or something with my mom. Bit by bit, I started feeling like an afterthought in my own relationship. And then came that Friday night. I got home a little early, thinking we could just chill, maybe cook dinner together. But as soon as I walked in, the air felt different. She was slouched on the couch, staring blankly at her laptop. I said hey, but all I got was a quiet, distracted reply. I went into the kitchen, trying to shake off the weird tension, but the silence in the house was just too loud. Eventually, I asked her straight up, is something going on? She looked over at me and said, there's something I've been meaning to talk to you about. You ever get that sinking feeling in your gut, like the floor's about to drop out from under you? That was me, just standing there, spatula in hand, waiting for the blow. She said she'd been doing a lot of thinking about us and about Jake. She told me she wanted to take a break. Not because we were fighting. Not because she was unsure about marriage in general. But because she wanted to see if anything still existed between her and him. I just stared at her, trying to process what she was saying. We were engaged. Planning a wedding. And she wanted to pause all that to go back and test the waters with her ex. She told me if it didn't work out, she'd come back. Like I was just gonna sit here and wait for her while she figured things out. I didn't yell. I didn't break down. I just kind of froze. And then I asked her, so when you say break, what exactly do you mean? She said something like, we take some time apart. I see what's there with Jake. You take time to reflect on us, too. And I just looked at her and said, hold on. You're telling me you get to go date your ex? And I'm supposed to sit around thinking about whether we're still a thing? That's not how this works. She made it clear, this wasn't her asking for my blessing. She was just telling me how it was going to be. And that's when everything inside me shifted. I wasn't just hurt anymore. I was pissed. Goodbye. And good riddance, I asked her straight up. So what? Are you planning to pack a bag and go stay with Jake now? She shook her head and said, It's not like that. I just need some clarity. I looked her in the eye and said, And what about what you owe me? We're engaged, Chloe. That means commitment. And now you want to test drive your ex like this is some kind of open house. She paused, then said, I just need to be sure. And right now, I'm not. I told her, Fine, go ahead. Take your break. She blinked like she hadn't expected me to give in that easily. Then she said she'd stay at her mom's for a while, that we'd talk after she had time to think things through. I didn't argue, just nodded. And the second she closed that door behind her, I got to work. First thing I did was call up my best friend, Ryan. We ordered a couple pizzas, cracked open some beers, and talked late into the night. At one point he looked at me and said, You know she'll come crawling back when Jake turns out to be the same loser he was before, right? And deep down I knew he was right. Next morning I called a real estate agent. The house was in my name legally and financially. It had always been ours in conversation, but I was the one footing the mortgage. We got it listed right away, and the interest started pouring in almost immediately. Then I hired movers, told them to pack up every last piece of Chloe's stuff and drop it off at her mom's place. I even wrote a little note to go with the boxes. Here's your stuff. Good luck with Jake. When friends started asking what had happened, I didn't dance around it. I just laid it out plain. Chloe wanted to see if things with her ex might still work before getting married. I figured I deserve someone who already knows they want me. No drama, just the truth. That same week, I applied for a job opening at my company's Chicago office. It was a position I'd had my eye on for a while. Bigger role, new city, fresh start. If I got it, I'd be gone. Clean break. Then the text started. First it was small stuff, hey, or hope you're okay, but they kept coming. The tone got more panicked. When she realized I'd boxed up her belongings and put the house on the market, she freaked. She texted, Why are you acting like this is over? I answered simply, Because it is. Leveling up, so here I am, settled into my new life out in Chicago. I've got a beautiful apartment with big windows and way too much natural light, a job I actually look forward to every day, and a team that makes work feel less like work. The energy in this city, it's electric, fast-paced, inspiring, and exactly the fresh start I didn't know I needed. I've started putting myself out there again. Joined a climbing group, which has been a blast, even if my forearms are constantly sore. I signed up for Spanish classes, something I'd always said I'd get around to someday. And maybe the best part, I adopted a dog. A big, goofy mutt named Zeus who has no idea how huge he is and thinks he belongs in my lap. He's been my little, not so little sidekick through it all. The house is officially sold. Closed the deal 2 weeks ago. That chapter is over. As for Chloe, she's back living with her parents. Things with Jake didn't last. He ended up dumping her not long after their little reunion. Apparently, he told her, If you could do that to Ethan, what's stopping you from doing it to me? Honestly, I didn't expect him to be the one with the clarity, but there it is. Couple weeks ago, Chloe emailed me out of the blue. Said she wanted copies of the photos from our shared cloud account. I replied, Those years taught me exactly what I don't want in a partner. Appreciate the lesson. People have told me I'm being cold or harsh, but they don't get it. This wasn't just some fleeting moment of confusion on her part. It was a string of conscious choices. Repeated decisions to walk away from me, to lie, to keep doors open behind my back. I'm not angry anymore, but I am done. And honestly, I've learned something. The best kind of revenge isn't about getting even, it's about leveling up. And that's exactly what I'm doing.